mga kawamat, in this video we will discuss the kinds of line, particularly in perpendicular lines. So in this video, we will define and illustrate the different kinds of line, perpendicular lines, intersecting lines, concurrent lines, parallel lines, skew lines, and transversal lines. We will also define and illustrate perpendicularity. So in this video, we will focus on these three. Kasama na nga po doon yung perpendicular line. So, abangan po natin yung susunod na video na kung saan magpo-focus naman tayo sa parallel and transversal lines. So, in this video, let's talk about these three. Okay? So, what is the difference between these three? So, meron tayong intersecting lines, concurrent lines, and perpendicular lines. So, when we say intersecting lines, these are two coplanar lines that have a point in common. So, meron kang dalawang lines na kung saan meron siyang point in common. So, in this figure, this is the point of intersection, point A. Okay? So, two intersecting lines meeting at point A. So, pag sinabi nating intersecting lines, okay, ito yung dalawang lines na nag-intersect, meron silang common point na tinatawag nating point of intersection. So, in this figure, point A is the point of intersection. Okay? Next, when we say concurrent lines, ano ba ang pagkakaiba nito sa intersecting lines? Pag sinabi natin concurrent lines, these are three or more coplanar lines that intersect at exactly one point. So, hindi lang siya two. Okay? So, ito po ay 3 or more na po. So, kung ang intersecting lines ay 2 lines lang, ang concurrent lines, 3 or more na po ito. 3 or more coplanar lines na ganun din po, nag-i-intersect sila at exactly one point. Okay? So, 3 or more coplanar lines na kung saan nag-i-intersect sila sa isang point lang. So, in this figure, saan sila nag-intersect? Sa point O. So, concurrent lines meeting at point O. So, dito sa figure na to, this is the point of intersection. Next, how about perpendicular lines? So, when we say perpendicular lines, these are two lines that intersect. So, ito po siya. This is your first line, line AB. And this is your second line, line CD. Okay. So, line CD, nag-intersect sila. Now, ano ang special kay perpendicular lines? Kasi they are also intersecting lines, but ang perpendicular lines, it forms right angle. Okay? So, nag-i-intersect din sila kasi meron silang point in common. So, this is the point of intersection, point E. Now, ang special sa kanya is nakakapag-form po siya ng right angle. So, kapag meron po tayong nakitang ganito, ibig sabihin that is a right angle. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating perpendicular lines, ibig sabihin, ito yung lines na nag-intersect na naka-form ng right angle. So, yun ang special sa kanya compare dito sa dalawa. So, these two are just intersecting lines, while perpendicular lines are intersecting lines that forms right angle. So, nakakabuo po siya ng right angle. So, pag sinabi nating right angle, ibig sabihin, ang measure po nito is 90 degrees. So, kung ito ay right angle, ibig sabihin yung angle na adjacent sa kanya is also a right angle. Okay? So, hindi naman kailangan lagyan ng dalawang box yan dyan, ng dalawang symbol. So, once na meron ka ditong symbol na ganito, this is 90 degrees, automatic this is also 90 degrees. Okay? And if this is 90 degrees, automatic this is also 90 degrees. Okay? So, yun po ang meron kay perpendicular lines. It forms right angle. Now, how do we write perpendicular in symbol? So, this is ray EC is perpendicular to line AB. Now, take note of our symbol. So, yung EC natin, ang symbol po natin dito ay ray. This is line. So ray AC, this is read as ray AC is perpendicular to line AB. So take note of our symbol for perpendicularity. Tingnan nyo po, meron siyang guhit na pa ganon. Okay? So, bakit ray? Bakit ito line? So, ito po, ray, kasi nag-start po siya sa EC. So, since EC, hindi naman sinabing DC. Kung DC yan, ibig sabihin, line po ang symbol mo dyan. But since EC lang ang sinabi niya, that is just a ray. Kaya EC is perpendicular to line AB. Hindi po tayo pwedeng maglagay dito na ray CE. Kasi pag sinabing ray, dapat nag-start tayo palagi sa endpoint. So ray EC is perpendicular to line AB. Next, let's talk about perpendicular lines. So perpendicularity is not limited to lines only. It can also be used for segments and rays. So, kagaya nga ng example natin kanina, pwede mo siyang gamitin sa dalawang lines. Tapos yung previous slide natin, ang ginamit natin yung ray. And pwede rin pong segments. So, pag sinabi nating perpendicular lines, hindi lang po lines. Hindi lang po two lines ang nakaka-form ng right angle. Pwede rin pong segments at kahit ray pa yan, meron po tayong mapo-form na right angle doon. So, it is not limited to lines. Okay? Pwede rin po ang segments and rays. Now, what is a perpendicular bisector? When we say perpendicular bisector, so hindi na lang siya basta perpendicular. Okay? Meron siyang word na bisector. Ano nga ba ito? So, a perpendicular bisector of a segment is a line. So, again, pwede siyang ray, pwede siyang segment. Perpendicular to the segment at its endpoint. So, kagaya nga nito, segment naman ang ginamit niya, hindi line. So, ito, segment naman siya. So, pag sinabi nating midpoint, ito yung pinakagitna. Okay? So, ito yung pinakagitna niya. So, halimbawa, itong segment na to, ang midpoint niya is ito. Siya yung pinakagitna. Now, anong connection niya doon sa perpendicular bisector? Kasi dito tumatama yung ating line. Okay? Pag yung line mo tumama dun sa midpoint ng segment, ang tawag sa kanya ay perpendicular bisector. Okay? So, anong pinagkaiba niya dun sa perpendicular lang at perpendicular bisector? Okay? So, pag sinabi nating perpendicular bisector, hindi lang siya basta nagpo-form ng right angle. Hindi lang siya basta perpendicular. Okay? Pag sinabi nating perpendicular bisector, it also divides the segment into two congruent segments. Okay? Into two equal segments. So, aside from perpendicular siya, hinahati niya pa yung segment mo into two congruent segments. Okay? Yun po ang nagagawa ng perpendicular bisector. Kaya siya tinawag na bisector. Ibig sabihin, hinahati niya into two congruent segments. Okay? So, etong example na to, so dito, CD is perpendicular to AB. Okay? CD is perpendicular to AB. So, perpendicular lang siya kasi nag-form lang siya ng right angle. Okay? But in this figure, CD is the perpendicular bisector of segment AB. Why? Kasi hindi lang siya perpendicular, hinati niya pa ito into two congruent segments. Okay, so ito po ang difference. Ito perpendicular, ito po perpendicular bisector. Okay. So in this figure, line CD is the perpendicular bisector of segment AB. So, from this given figure, what conclusion can you make? Anong mafo-form natin na conclusion based dito sa ating figure? So, una, since line CD is a perpendicular bisector, so since perpendicular bisector siya, automatic, magpo-form siya ng right angles. Okay? So, tatandaan na sabi rito si CD daw is a perpendicular bisector of segment AB. So, ibig sabihin, dalawang right angles ang mabubuo niya. And that is angle CDA and angle CDB. Okay? Kung ang sinabi, halimbawa, line CD is perpendicular to line DB, DB lang, ibig sabihin, isang right angle lang po ang pwede mong makonclude doon. Okay? Pero since ang sabi, line CD is perpendicular to line AB, itong buo, ibig sabihin dalawang right angle. Okay? Next, another conclusion is line CD bisects segment AB. Okay, so kung it bisects segment AB, kung hinati niya si segment AB, ibig sabihin, si segment AB will be divided into two congruent segments. Mahahati to into two congruent segments kasi bisect, perpendicular bisector. So, which are, ano yung dalawang congruent segments natin? Segment AD and segment DB. Nahati siya sa dalawa. So, ano ang mga conclusions natin dito? Angle CDA, okay, ito yon, angle CDA and angle CDB are right angles. Aside from that, AD is congruent to segment DB. So, pag congruent, ito po yung symbol na ginagamit natin. So, again, if it's a perpendicular bisector, this will be our conclusion that these two segments are congruent and we can form two right angles. Let's have an examples. So, what conclusion can you make out of the given figure? So, ito po yung figure natin. Okay, meron tayo ditong figure na kung saan merong 4 points. Okay. So, let us try to answer the given question. So, ang sabi dito, segment AC is perpendicular, so this is the symbol for perpendicularity, to segment CB at C. So, si AC daw, perpendicular siya kay segment CB. So, automatic, magpo-form siya ng right angle. So, since sinabi perpendicular, ibig sabihin right angle to. So, anong conclusion ang mabubuo mo dyan? Therefore, angle ACB is a right angle. Okay? Next, segment CD. Ito naman, segment CD is perpendicular to segment AB at D. So, hindi lang sinabi na segment CD is perpendicular to DB. So, ang sabi, etong buo. Okay? Perpendicular siya dito. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? So, segment CD is perpendicular to AB. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang isa ang right angles mo dito. So, we have angle CDA and angle CDB are right angles. Kasi simula AB siya eh. Okay, itong buo. So, dalawa ang right angles na naglalay dun sa segment na yun. Next. So, I have here given ray MP. So, ray MP, ito si ray MP is perpendicular to line and LN. So, ito si line LN. So, ray MP is perpendicular to line LN. Okay. Now, based dito sa given, ang measure daw po ni angle OMN is 40 degrees. Ayan po. So, since si ray MP ay perpendicular kay line LN, ibig sabihin, makaka-form tayo ng right angles dyan. Aside from that, based dito sa given, the measure of angle OMN is 40 degrees. So, kapag ganito na may mga figures tayo, kapag may ganitong mga tanong, examples, mas maganda kung i-illustrate natin siya. Mag-drawing tayo ng figure. And then, kung ano yung given, ilagay mo siya. So, halimbawa dito, given ito. So, ilagay mo siya para mas madali mong makita. Mas madaling mag-solve kapag nakikita natin lahat ng given na naka-illustrate. Okay? So, pwede na tayong sumagot. So, yun ang first step, no? Analyze nyo yung given. Okay? Lahat ng pwedeng ilagay dun sa figure, ilagay mo na makakatulong sa'yo sa pag-solve. So, first question is, what is the measure of angle OMP? Okay. binanggit kanina na ito ay perpendicular. So, ibig sabihin, it forms right angle. Okay? Next, binanggit din that this is 40. So, kung ito ay parehong right angles, so kung ito ay 40, ibig sabihin, para makabuo tayo ng 90 dito, this is already 40, ilan to? This is 50. Okay? So, this is 50 degrees. Okay? So, kapag nakuha mo yung sagot, ilagay mo siya dun. Para nakikita mo kagad. Mas madaling mag-solve pag nakikita mo. Okay, now, so ang pinapahanap naman sa atin ngayon is the measure of angle LMO. This is LMO. So, simula dito hanggang dito. Ito po. Okay. So, this is, we all know that this angle is 90. Okay? So, 90, since hanggang dito ang pinapakuha, hanggang O, 90 plus 50, nakuha mo na to, so alam mo na agad. 90 plus 50, that is 140. Okay? So, pwede kayong sumabay sa akin habang nagdi-discuss. Pwede kayong sumagot dyan sa bahay. Okay, next. So, I have here ray QN. So, ito si QN. Ray QN is perpendicular to line PL. Ito si PL. So, ray QN, ito si QN, is perpendicular daw po to line PL. So, alam agad natin na dalawang right angles yan. Kasi itong buo siya. So, dalawang right angles tayo meron dito. Now, let us answer the question. So, if the measure of angle 4 is 30, okay, so ilagay mo siya para makita mo kagad. So, if the measure of angle 4 is 30 degrees, ito, what is the measure of angle 5? Okay, so ito ang tinatanong. Diba this is perpendicular? So, ibig sabihin, ito ay 90. So, kung meron ka ng 30 degrees, ibig sabihin, this is 60. Okay? So, 60 plus 30, that is 90. Now, pag nakuha mo yung sagot, ilagay mo siya para nakikita mo kagad. Next, if the measure of angle 4 is 30, ito siya. Yung measure ng angle 4 mo is 30. And then, ang sabi dito, the measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 5. Based dun sa nakuha natin na measure ng angle 5, which is 60, equal daw siya sa measure ni angle 3. So, ilagay natin, 60 din. Kasi, yun ang sabi. Okay? So, ang hinahanap ngayon, what is the measure of angle 2? So, ito naman ang hinahanap sa atin ngayon. Diba, this is perpendicular. So, dalawang right angles ang mabubuo niyan. Ito at yung kabilang side. Okay. So, kung ito ay 60, ilan na lang ang kulang para mag-90 siya kasi right angle din to. So, this is also 30. Okay, so ilagay mo siya dito, 30 degrees. Okay? So, every time na may kukuha tayong sagot, ilagay po natin para nakikita natin siya. Now, the measure of angle 4 is 30. The measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 5. Ito siya. Now, ang hinahanap, what is the sum? What is the sum of the measure of angle 3 and angle 4? So, sabi ko nga, kaya pinalalagay ko sa inyo yung mga nakukuha niyong sagot para madali niyo makita. So, what is the measure daw of, what is the sum of the measures of angle 3 and angle 4? So, itong dalawa yon, i-add natin. So, 60 plus 30, therefore the answer is 90. Okay. Now, based on your answer in letter C, so ito yung letter C, what can you say about MQO? So, MQO, this is your MQO. So, yung MQO, yun yung kinuha natin na sum ng angle 3 at angle 4. Okay? So, yung MQO is referring to the sum of the measures of angle 3 and angle 4. Yun siya. Yung, it consists of two angles, yung 3 and 4. So, what can you say about MQO since yun ay 90? So, kung 90 degrees siya, ibig sabihin, angle MQO is a right angle. Okay? Now, angle NQL, Is angle NQL a right angle? Tingnan natin. So, ito si NQL. Kung titingnan natin yung measure ng angle niya, we have 30 plus 60, 90. So, is it a right angle? Yes, because the sum of the measures of angle NQL is 90 degrees. Let's have the next example. So, what conclusion can you make out of the given information below? Okay. So, in this example, meron tayong segment HT is perpendicular to segment RE. So, si segment HT is perpendicular to segment RE. Ibig sabihin, dalawang right angles ang meron siya. Okay? So, segment HT is perpendicular to segment RE. So, anong conclusion ang mabubuo mo dyan? So, we have angle HTR and angle HTE are right angles. Okay? Kasi perpendicular siya sa buo, sa RE, hindi lang TE. So, RE, ibig sabihin dalawang right angles yan. Next, HA, ito si HA, ito, is the perpendicular bisector of RE. So, pag sinabi nating perpendicular bisector, aside from perpendicular sila, it divides these segments into two congruent segments. Okay? So, si HA daw is the perpendicular bisector of segment RE. So, unang-una dyan, since bisector, automatic, these two are congruent kasi bisector siya. So, aside from perpendicular, meron siyang congruent segments. So, RT, segment RT is congruent to segment TE. Why? Kasi bisector. Next, bukod doon, since HA is the perpendicular bisector of RE, so, etong kahabaan na to at ito ang perpendicular. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang dalawang angles, pati itong nasa ilalim. So, ibig sabihin, apat ang right angles mo dyan. Kasi, HA to RE. Okay? So, apat ang right angles mo dyan. So, isa rin yun sa mga conclusion mo. That, angle HTR, HTE, angle ATR, and angle ATE are right angles. So, ito yung apat na yun. HTR, HTE, ATR, and ATE are right angles. Next, angle HTE, so ito si HTE, angle HTE is a right angle. So, what can you conclude? So, kung right angle siya, ibig sabihin, HT is perpendicular to TE. Okay? So, we can conclude that HT is perpendicular to TE because angle HTE is a right angle. Ma'am, bakit hindi po HT is perpendicular to RE? No. Why? Kasi kung HT is perpendicular to RE, dapat hindi lang angle HTE ang binigay niya dito. Dapat pati angle HTR. Okay? So, dapat dalawa yung given niya na right angles. But since ito lang, so ito lang po. Ang segment HT is perpendicular to segment TE, not RE. Next. So, dito, ang given natin, RT is congruent to segment TE. So, since meron tayong congruent segments, automatic, perpendicular bisector ito. And then, si HTR daw and HTE are right angles. So, ano ang conclusion natin? HT is the perpendicular bisector of segment RE. Ma'am, bakit hindi po HA? Kasi kung HA siya, dapat 4 right angles tayo. Dalawa lang po ito. So, ibig sabihin, dito lang tayo. Okay? So, HT is perpendicular bisector of RE. Kasi dalawa lang yung given niya. Okay? Next, AT. Ito si AT. AT is perpendicular to RE. Ito. So, ibig sabihin, ito ang focus natin dyan. Therefore, ang conclusion natin, angle ATR and angle ATE are right angles. Kasi AT is perpendicular to RE. Next. So, how many right angles are formed if HA is perpendicular to RE? So, ilang right angles ang mabubuo kapag HA is perpendicular to RE? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 right angles. Okay, let's have this one. So, in this example, segment HA is perpendicular to segment RE. Okay? And then sabi rito, segment RT is congruent to segment TE. So, naglagay ako ng mark. Okay? This mark symbolizes that these segments are congruent. Okay? And segment AR, ito si AR, is congruent to segment AE. Okay, so gumamit rin ako ng markings, pero hindi lang isa yung mark ko. Kasi pag ginawa ko siyang isa, ibig sabihin congruent din siya dito sa dalawa. So, yun po ang importance ng paglalagay ng markings. Kung pareho silang single mark, ibig sabihin, kung sila lang ang congruent. So, kung pareho silang double marks, ibig sabihin silang dalawa naman ang pareho. Congruent. Okay? So, pareho daw ito. Equal sila. They are congruent. So, naglagay ako ng double markings. Now, so the measure of angle HRT, ito si HRT, is 65. So, lagay natin. Okay? Ilagay natin si 65 degrees. And the measure of angle ART, ito naman yon, ART. So, this is 55 degrees. Ilagay natin. Okay? So, since si HA ay perpendicular kay RE, ibig sabihin, 4 na right angles meron tayo dyan. Okay? 4 na right angles meron tayo. And then, sabi ko nga kapag nag-analyze tayo ng given, ilagay nyo lahat ng given dun sa figure para makita nyo na kagad kasi makakatulong yan sa inyo sa pag-solve. Okay? So, let us answer. Okay. Now, bakit ito, si angle TEA ay 55 degrees din? Okay. Although hindi pa to na-discuss, pero tatandaan na kapag yung dalawang sides congruent, ibig sabihin, yung dalawang angles opposite sa kanila ay congruent din. Okay? Yun po yung tinatawag nating isosceles triangle. So, if two sides of the triangle, so this is a triangle, right? So, if two sides of the triangle are congruent ito, yung opposite angles nila are also congruent. Kaya, this is also 55. Okay? So, dito pa lang sa given, analyze natin, ilagay mo na lahat ng pwede mong ilagay. Okay? Now, let us answer. So, find the measure of the following angles. The first one is the measure of angle HTR. So, HTR. So, ito madali lang to kasi this is 90. This is a right angle. Okay? Next, RTH. RTH. Okay, mukhang yun pa rin yung angle na tinutukoy. So, that is also 90. Next, angle T. TEA. So, ito ay nakuha na natin kanina. So, that is 55. Okay, next, the measure of angle HRA. So, HRA. So, itong buo. Okay? So, paano mo makukuha to HRA? So, anong gagawin mo? I-add lang natin to. 65 plus 55, this is 120. Next, the measure of angle ATR. Okay, so alam natin to. This is a right angle, so that is 90. Next, the measure of angle TAR. So, this is your TAR. Okay, ito. TAR. So, ibig sabihin, ito ang hinahanap. Now, tatandaan, palagi, kaya gaya nga ng lagi kong sinasabi na ang measure po ng isang triangle is always 180. Okay? So, the sum of the measures of 3 interior angles of a triangle, 3 yan, kasi isa, dalawa, tatlo. lagi yan 180. Kapag meron kang triangle, it's always 180, yung sum ng interior angles niya. So, paano mo makukuha itong measure nito ng angle TAR mo? So, ima-minus natin siya sa 180 kasi nga ang kabuuan ng interior angles niyan ay laging 180 basta triangle. So 180, i-minus natin si 90, this is 90, i-minus din natin si 55. So ang magiging sagot niyan is 35. So therefore this is 35 degrees. Okay? Paano kayo nakuha? I-minus nyo lang po siya sa 180 because the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is always 180. So, kung ito ay 55, ito ay 90, meron ka na kagad 145. So, ilan na lang kulang para maging 180? 35 degrees. Okay. Next, angle HET. Okay, so paano naman natin ito makukuha si angle HET? Since ito ay congruent, so ibig sabihin, this is also 65 degrees. Okay? Next, angle HEA. So, ito naman tayo. So, angle HEA. Okay? So, itong buo. So, i-add lang natin. 65 plus 55, that is 120. And then, angle EHT. So, ito si EHT. So, ganun ulit. The sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180. So, i-minus lang natin sa 180 si 90 at si 65 para makuha natin to. So, 180 minus 90 is 90. 90 minus 65 is 25. Okay. So, therefore, this is 25 degrees. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell para updated kayo for more video tutorials. This is your guide in learning your math lessons, your Wow Math channel.